everybody, welcome to How Did I Know You Reactions, where we react to current events. With
What
your
up?
host, how dare you speak over me?
I'm sorry, I cut you off. My bad.
God, with your host,
What
Mark
up?
Dwayne. Mark Dwayne.
Hey, what's up?
And today we react to
We're reacting to the horrible events that happened this weekend, yesterday, Saturday to be exact. The two mass shootings that happened in the U.S. One was in El Paso, Texas. The other was in Dayton, Ohio. So far, it's saying that at least 20 fatalities were in the El Paso, Texas shooting. It started at a Walmart. I believe the other one was in Dayton, Ohio. That one's a little more sketchy, but from what the information that we have so far, which I'm going to read straight from the Washington Post.
that's right, verbatim.
Verbatim. This is what the information we have so far on the Dayton, Ohio mass shooting. It states that in the hours before the mass shootings, siblings Connor and Megan Betts drove the family's 2007 Corolla to visit the city's historic.
Very important, the car model.
Very important. City's historic Oregon district, an area alive on a summer night with restaurants, bars, and nightlife. The police say they separated. It is not clear what Megan, 22, did at this point, but Connor, 24, donned a mask, body armor, and ear protection, wielding an AR-15-like assault rifle with magazines containing 100 rounds. He set on a street rampage, although it only lasted about 30 seconds, killed 9 people and injured 27 others, police said. Among the first to die was Megan Betts. Her male companion was injured but survived. So
First question.
Real fast. They didn't, I guess, specify it, but it started with saying that Megan and Connor Betts drove down, but apparently Megan was with her male companion. So I don't know if it was dude she was messing with, boyfriend, but he was also in the vehicle. Doesn't know why they say it, but he had to also be in the vehicle because he also was injured. So
that one is fucking weird to me because how you gonna drive with your family down to this festival and then just shoot randomly? Like, how do you know your family's not gonna get hit?
Well, the way it's being painted so far is he shot his sister and shot her.
Oh, like that was meant to be.
Yeah, that's the way it's being painted so far. But like I said, this seems very sketchy because for any of you people who own a gun or have ever, I guess, just have common sense, there's really no real ways to hide an AR-15 with 100 round magazines and body armor.
Well, it seems like they got there. He went to some like bush area or something, and just like so he was there earlier in the day. He dropped off his stuff.
This is all conspiracy.
Yeah,
by
conspiracy
the way. This
theory.
is all hypothetical.
Yeah, allegedly. He went there. He dropped it off earlier in the day. Came back with his family, suited up, and then just shot
Again,
randomly as fuck.
You can paint it that way, but the information from the Washington Post is pretty much stating that
that's fucking weird.
That's fucking weird. They drove down, they separated. He then got all these items and then went on a rampage.
But another conspiracy theory, he shot his sister and whoever she's messing with on purpose, so they could get away with like not being charged. Because maybe it was a whole family thing.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like he just like they shot the sister and her boyfriend on purpose, so that they wouldn't get like in trouble too. It'd just be all on him.
So
it's a very movie thing.
Well,
like,
it was gonna be
shoot me in the shoulder, so it looks like you got away or something.
It was gonna be on him regardless because he was the one who was shooting.
She could have been shooting from a different angle too.
Again,
conspiracy theory, man.
From the information that we know, this is what we have. But let's talk about the bigger picture. With these two mass shootings, what do you think is gonna be the end result of this? Because a lot of people, the argument is pretty much switching from gun control. It seems like the gun control argument isn't being brought up anymore. Now this is going more towards a domestic terrorism.
Yeah, I think the people that were fighting for like gun control and gun reform or whatever, I think at least in the mainstream they've given up, like even trying to get anywhere with that, because it always just gets tossed around. It gets into it's not about the guns, it's about the people, it's about this, it's about that, it's about this, and then it just gets whatever twisted into not even talking about changing the laws.
Right.
So now most of the mainstream is just focused on like, hey, this is white supremacy, domestic terrorism. Because every time it's always like a white guy, some Trump supporter, and they have like overwhelming proof that it's a Trump supporter. Like I think the one in El Paso, like his Facebook page, the dude, he had spelled out Trump with like all his guns. So it was a TR and all that crap. You know his name.
Right.
So they're saying like it's basically domestic terrorism, which our president is like fueling the fire for.
Do you feel like, is there any way that this is going to lead to, I guess, adding more fuel to the fire that, because it is technically, we are, a lot of the candidates who are trying to run for president for 2020, they're out right now. They are campaigning and they're doing all these things. Again, if we're going on the conspiracy theory route, these are perfectly timed because a lot of these debates are happening. Do you think these issues will definitely be a main trigger point for the next couple of debates? And
yeah, of course they're gonna go
hot points.
they're gonna hit the gun control thing. That's gonna be fucking washed probably.
Right.
And then it's just gonna be how do you handle domestic terrorism, which they're really afraid. Like major, like pretty much all major news outlets are very afraid to put that label on it because I guess legally, according to some like FBI agent or whatever I saw like in Congress, I saw one time like it's a very specific thing to where almost there is no white domestic terrorism.
Wait. So, are you saying that I was just about to ask this question?
Yeah.
So, if the person wasn't white, would it be considered domestic terrorism?
I think so. Well, they would probably paint in the picture of like, oh, this dude is from somewhere else. He was an immigrant or whatever. But yeah, most of the time when it's like pretty much when it's like a Muslim, it's a terrorist. When it's
Right.
when it's a Hispanic, it's a terrorist, and we need to build a wall, all that crap. But then when it's like anytime it's a white person, all of a sudden it's like this guy had mental health issues and he wasn't right in the head, and they avoid any kind of label of domestic terrorism.
Do you? Because I feel like there's a part of these things when these situations happen that a lot of people, they like to kind of tread over the fact that there might really be some mental health instances actually going on in these things, which I don't like to tread over or tread lightly over mental health issues because I feel like they do exist. Because prime example, like you said, the dude spelled out Trump's name and
with his guns,
with his guns and shit. That's not a very sane person.
Right.
That's not someone who I feel like is thinking the clearest, right? So,
but then like if he did have mental health problems, how is it that he has all these guns?
Well, if we just want to go by gun laws again, there is no unless you get like committed and like there's like documentation of you've been committed, you've been to these facilities and things like that. There isn't really anything when it comes to basic gun ownership laws that say like, we think he's crazy, so you can't have a gun.
Right.
It's pretty
so
much if you don't have any offenses, felonies, and things like that, and you have a primarily clean record, you can own a gun.
So right there with that, we could at least say that he is mentally healthy enough to where he was able to get a gun.
By law, yes.
Yes, by law. So that's all that matters, right? When it comes to all this kind of shit, it doesn't matter what the little things he did here and there, that he was a weirdo, whatever, like he was very recluse, blah blah. It don't fucking matter, right?
Right.
So like that's why I think like in these kind of situations, it should just be passed over. Like that excuse no longer exists. We can't look at it hindsight and then go like, oh man, he was mentally ill.
Right.
Damn. I said no. Fuck that excuse. Fuck that excuse for this person because he killed a bunch of people. Like if you want to do that shit, blame the people around him. Blame the people around him and just let him get away with this shit. Like didn't help.
Well, that's where it gets into. Like I said, it's for me. It's like I feel like we shouldn't tread lightly because I feel like the way like a lot of society and our culture is just. The way we deal with things isn't to deal with them. It's simply just to walk away from it or ignore it or just be like, oh, they'll grow out of it. he's weird, but he doesn't hurt anybody, so just leave him alone and things like that. And I feel like that's what I'm talking about, to where we don't look at the signs of shit because we are either too busy with our own lives, or B,
Right.
to the point where we don't look at the actual facts, or not the facts, but we don't look at the actual signs of what's going on, because at the end of the day, what the fuck do we know about any signs of this shit? Because we can be just as weird, but we aren't, like, I'm not gonna go shoot somebody just because I'm depressed. You know what I mean?
I get all that, and that's a good sign for anyone that's that is mentally ill or is around somebody that maybe you think they are, but you're afraid to say anything. Maybe, test the waters with that shit. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, fuck that excuse for this guy.
Right.
Like, once that shit happens, once like the fucking shootings happen, some kind of violent act happens, fuck the mental health excuse, man. Fuck that shit. Because that's just an excuse for him killing a bunch of people. Like, him feeling sorry for the fucking aggressor.
Right.
Instead of feeling sorry for all the fucking people he just killed.
Right.
It's like, no, fuck that guy. It's like saying, like, oh, Hitler was mentally ill. Is that an excuse? Like, do we go like, oh, man, he was mentally ill. Like, maybe it wasn't, like, we have to feel sorry for him a little bit because he killed, like, millions upon millions of Jews.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That's why I'm like, why does that fucking excuse matter anymore?
See, I agree with you. I'm just posing I'm playing devil's advocate, but also I do care about the mental illness.
Yeah, no, I
issue.
care about that too, and that's why it's like it should. That's why I'm saying, like, it should be like, hey, this is your, like, again, this is a fucking a sign. Hey, maybe that person you think is just weird or something like that. Talk to him.
Right.
Find out.
See,
but after that, just move on to what the actual issue is with this person.
I guess where I'm trying to get to is, I feel like because, hey, this is a new series and it's called Reactions, everyone's very reactionary to these instances and things like that. So they go straight to hopping on social media and things like that, and they'll say, white supremacy. Damn it, it's domestic terrorism. Damn it, fuck guns, stop guns. We don't need AR-15s. Damn it. And I'm like, okay, so let's do that. All right, so let's just say after this instance, now every white person who does this shit, because it is all white people for some very odd reason, but let's say every white Trump-supporting person does these mass shootings, they start to get labeled as domestic terrorists, and they're blasted all over the the media and everything as what they rightfully are supposed to be. Then what?
Then we win. I don't know.
See, that's where I want to get to, because I'm like, because people.
I think it's a very subconscious thing though, because it's a very subconscious thing that every time we see like terrorists on TV or whatever, it's always the brown guy.
Right.
It starts to become it starts a very subtle change that like eventually builds into this big wave of like, okay, all the bullshit, like roundabout racist shit, like the travel bans.
Right.
It can no longer be like, oh no, it's because of this reason.
Right.
It's like, no, like, fuck that shit. I think all the real reasons are going to start coming out now after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it stops all the subtle racist shit from day-to-day life that, like, us, like, brown and black people deal with. We're no longer gonna be seen as just like this troublemaker. Like, oh, these are the troublemakers, the ones with brown and black skin. Now it's just like, oh, when you see a white person, it's like, oh, maybe that's a terrorist right there. Maybe that's like someone's gonna shoot up the place.
Right. So, see, this is what my fear is with shit like this when it comes to stuff like this, because when we go towards things like I said, and rightfully so, we should feel like, label them as what they are. Yeah. Don't try to sugarcoat the shit. I completely 100% agree. But I feel like if all these situations are actual situations and not something, again, if we're talking conspiracy theories, right? If it's not something that was trumped up or
see what he did there,
something that is used for conversational pieces or debate topics and things like that, or ways to what's
the reality of how is it really going to affect society and the people?
Exactly, because at the end of the day, like I said, that can be changed, and we can be, white people can be seen as domestic terrorists and things like that. But if these things do keep happening, okay, we got what we wanted. Now we need a resolution to stop this. And like you said, I don't know if we're ever gonna have like a great form of gun control. I don't know.
That
Me,
I just
I'm not gonna. Let me just preface this by saying I am a gun owner. So for people who are just like, "Oh, you got," I'm a gun owner. All right, so I am pro guns. So if people want to start going in the comments now and saying, "Oh,
But I
fuck
wanna,
you,"
I
I'm
wanna, yeah,
pro
I wanna
guns.
clarify that because I've talked to this about Dwayne. He's pro guns. I like guns too. Like they're
Right,
very cool.
but he does not own any
I don't
guns.
own any gun. Just that's mainly because I don't want to spend the money on it.
Right.
That's the only reason though. But because I've talked to you about this, I was just like, so you're pro guns, but are you like you're also like for like rewriting the gun control laws to make it like harder for certain people to get it?
Right, 100%.
Yeah, like
I'm for stricter background checks and things like that. I feel like, and this is just maybe it's just me, but I don't know if we can ever get there. But I feel like there's instances. I remember back in like college and stuff, they would tell us, hey, watch social media because when you apply for a job, there's a lot of companies that can do background checks and can do checks where they can look at your social media as well.
Right.
They can see all the bullshit you post on there and see like, oh, I'm not working with this person and things like that, right? So I feel like how come, especially if we know for a fact, right? We definitely know that if I right now screamed into my phone and said, you know what, I love some pizza, I'm probably gonna get an ad on my phone that says, hey, Domino's is open right now, right? And things like
you got
that,
it
right?
right now. You got
Oh
the
my
ad
god, I
popped
did.
open.
So I'm gonna get an ad, right? So definitely they can see what is being posted and things like that, right? How can this not be implemented somehow into a background check for a gun?
Right.
And why am I like, I'm A-okay with putting down my social media, or if I don't have to put it down, right? You guys can go to my social media and look at the things I say and everything. And if you feel like, you know what, you don't need to have a gun.
Yeah, like if you could get denied a job or get fired from a job for like someone
Yeah, for a tweet or Instagram
right
post and things like
saying
that.
something like crazy like, you know what, for all the black and brown I'm gonna shoot every single one of y'all and blah blah blah, all that crap like that.
Right.
How come like you get fired or not get a job for that, but you can still get a gun?
You can still own a gun.
Right.
I feel like the gun laws that are put in place currently are very antiquated, and they're very, it was back in a previous time where we didn't have to worry about certain issues or instances happening because they didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right now, it's more apparent than ever that these issues happen a lot,
Right.
and it's sad because now it's taken so many of these shootings to happen for people to be like, you know what, maybe we should rethink these things. And for me, I look at it like, growing up where I grew up, most of the people who had guns, they were illegal guns. Not a lot of people had actual legal guns and had permits and things like that. I happen to have one, right? But it's funny because the same people who I know who had illegal guns, they also they weren't shooting people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so someone's gonna jump on me on that, like, you don't know and everything. From what I know, right, from the people that I grew up with or whatever,
My personal experiences.
yeah, they're all still here, and they didn't, go on a rampage and shoot 15 people and somehow got away with it. Right, that didn't happen. So, I feel like the way the laws were I feel like built for a lot of also white supremacy and things like that, because it clearly states, if you can't have a felony, you can't have things like that. And in this world, we know it's very easy for someone of black and brown descent or whatever minority to get a felony very easily in this country.
I mean, even the stats show that we're in prison way more than whites.
Way more. So it's clear that these laws are tailor-made to stop us from owning guns, not to stop white people from owning guns.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're going to go, again, on the route of domestic terrorism and white supremacy, thing like that, then we have to change every bit of this, because it is turning into, the numbers don't lie. They don't. Yeah. So, whatever stats you guys want to bring up, we are more than welcome. Put them in the comment section and things like that. But from what we see, this is alarming, okay? Especially 2 in one day, and them to both be Caucasian is,
just the whole like mental health. That still bugs me because like they use that shit for the Walmart person, but he came in with like ear protection and all that shit and like extra rounds. It's like, no, this was well prepared. Mm-hmm. A crazy person would just come in with one clip and go, fucking shooting, and then that's it. But no, this motherfucker came prepared.
Yeah, they were. Both of these shooters were very calculated.
Very prepared,
they were calculated,
and they just can't say it. They can't say that this guy was just a fucking asshole, man. And they killed a bunch of innocent people for no reason. And it's crazy because beyond it being like a white supremacist domestic terrorism shit, the thing wasn't. I don't think it was racial because like how can you be so
No.
sure that you're only gonna hit like the people that you hate, quote unquote hate.
Right. No.
Because it's like everyone's just walking around mixed together.
Right.
It's not like it was like a black only Walmart or something.
Right, and this goes back to what I said about the whole people who were like, no, label it as white supremacy and things like that.
Yeah.
White people were shot too, so you can't. The people who I get what they're doing because they're trying to be like, we need to have equal ground on these things, right? I understand, but at the end of the day, you got to look at it too from a perspective of white people also got shot in that situation as well, right? So is it fuck them because they got shot? Oh well, one of your own did it,
Right.
So,
it's just like collateral damage
yeah,
at this point because I think
it shouldn't be.
Because I want to say I saw something that said like he was just like fuck all brown and blacks and blah 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 and just
Right.
shot. But
Right.
yeah, then you're shooting your own kind. Then it's just like, man, does white supremacy even care about white people? It's weird.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we've gotten to a point where, like the shooter in Dayton, from the evidence that, again, it's not a lot, but from the evidence that we have so far, he was just looking to shoot people. There was no motive behind it for some reason. He was looking to shoot people. He killed his own sister. Yeah. So, whatever, read into what you want to read into. I will say for these instances, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but I also do believe that when there's smoke, there is a fire. All right, so there is for at least the Dayton one. Like I said, what we have on it right now, the information that we have now, it's very sketchy. It's not, it doesn't make sense.
That's why I come up with conspiracy theories, like these stories, right? Because like none of this shit adds up really. Because you're never gonna have all the information. You're never gonna know what that guy was thinking. Was he taken in or was he shot dead? The Dayton one.
I'm not too sure.
Well, either way, he's never gonna give his like real like reason why he did this. He's gonna do something. He's gonna like start some agenda or whatever that he wants to like for whatever reason. None of these guys are fucking honest to begin with. They're cowards to begin with. So why would all of a sudden when they get caught, they become like truthful all of a sudden? Why would they do that?
He was shot dead.
He was shot dead. See, there you go. So he's dead. You're never gonna know the real reason.
Nope.
So that's why you get all these evidence, like tiny evidence here from there, and then everyone's gonna paint their story.
Yeah, the only person that could tell, because his sister's dead, he's dead. The only person who isn't dead is the sisters, and they didn't say boyfriend, they didn't say husband, they said male companion. So whatever that means he was just injured, but he is still alive.
That one I get. Okay, that one I get why they shot and killed him. 100-round clip, body armor. There's no way you could take that guy alive, right? Mm-hmm. Well, very unlikely, especially with all the people. Like, you want that shit to end quick.
Yeah, the way he was about to enter a bar, I guess when he started shooting people, because I'm just speculating. It was a downtown area. It was very active. When he started shooting, people started to run. A lot of people ran into a bar. He was going into the bar to shoot, people in the bar, and before he got to the bar, he was shot dead.
So that one I understand, but then like the one in Walmart, they took him like safely alive.
Yeah.
And then they keep comparing that shit to like how come like white people could shoot up a Walmart, be taken alive, but someone like, I don't know, I saw someone like selling like water or like something over there, and something like they're black or brown, they get shot.
Well, see, like I agree, but then also you just said, do you want to know a motive? Do you want to know the reason?
So do you think that's why they don't shoot and kill him? Because they need to know the answers?
No. I think there is a part of it that is very racist, because we all know that a lot of law enforcement, they do have these preconceived notions about minorities.
Like a couple weeks ago, remember that like there's that black family and like the kid, their baby like accidentally took a toy from like the dollar store or something like that, and the cop just went fucking like
he
step
drew
out of the car before
on the kid
anything,
and the mom.
and then like wanted the baby to be put on like the asphalt in fucking like New Mexico, Arizona area, where if you've ever been there, it's fucking insane. Like you can fucking make an egg on that shit.
But yeah, it's definitely in that situation though. Like I said, if we Are we gonna get a motive from this? Probably not, because we never do.
No.
It's like the same thing, the whole Dylan Roof situation. If you guys remember Dylan Roof, it's the white kid who shot up the church, right? He was taken safely alive. We still don't have a motive for that. We don't know why. Don't know why he did anything, right?
See, and that's where it really falls into conspiracy shit, because it's like, why does this shit get swept under the rug and it never gets brought up again? It's like all that racial shit just gets like swept under it with it.
Right, because it's used for narratives to paint whatever picture needs to be painted at the time, right? And like I said, these mass shootings, that will always be my number one, like, not argument, but my number one point where I'm always a contrarian when it comes to people who are against guns, right? Because everyone just likes to throw it out that hey, we need stricter gun laws so these mass shootings wouldn't happen. Things like that. Like, why do people need AR-15s and everything like that? Cool, you can feel how you want to feel. That's fine, right? My question is, the way you guys paint it, it's literally like you're saying because they can get these weapons, they're definitely gonna commit some kind of crime. Because who needs that, right? But these mass shootings, they happen. Like, they're spread out. It's not like I feel like there would definitely be some sort of change if this shit was happening. Like what happened Saturday. Right. If this was like a daily thing, or like, oh, here's another mass shooting in
it pretty much
Waco.
I saw this thing, and I don't know if it's true, but it was just like, I think it was yesterday. It was like, today is the 249th day of the year. Today is the 251st mass shooting of the year. So it pretty much is daily. It's
I don't like to fuck with shit when it comes to stats like that. Again, where you get information from, what's the narrative,
what's considered a mass shooting,
and everything still, like that.
Enough to be like, to make you think like, fuck, has there been that many mass shootings like pretty much every day? Like, why haven't I heard about them all?
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, I feel like, going into conspiracy theory land, you're only going to hear what's needed to be heard to push a narrative for whoever who's trying to push a narrative, right? So we yesterday, again, that was literally, I saw the first one, right? I saw it as it was going on. It's all over the news and stuff. At night, I'm literally playing a video game. I get off the game, I look at my phone on Twitter, and it's like the number one trending topic is another mass shooting. I'm like, what? I go on the phone in Dayton, Ohio. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? Right? So these are the things where, like I said, for all intents and purposes, currently, yes, these did happen, and they were very sad, and this is insane. Right? And these people, one of them is dead. The other person needs to be brought to justice, and he will face whatever he's going to face. Right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side of it, I look at it like, are we being told the complete truth when it comes to shit like this? Are we being told what completely is happening? How does one person... For me, the only way I know how to get body armor and things like that are... there's a couple of... And we live in California. There's a couple of stores that I know of, but they're like... there's... I forgot the name of it. I think one of them is Pro Force. I know a lot of like law enforcement, like LAPD and things, they shop there. But if I could be wrong, you guys can correct me, but I know you have to have like a
some kind of license to get that.
Well, like a guard permit and things like that to buy like the armor. It's like you can't just buy it.
Yeah, like I can't just go up there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I'm a payroller. I need
exactly. I need a bulletproof vest for some reason, right?
I don't trust my boss.
Right. So it doesn't work that way. But again, if you're someone and buying 100-round magazines, body armor, and things like that, clearly this isn't a person who... Come on, man.
I think the guns made it easier for them to act upon what they wanted to do. But even if they didn't have guns, eventually they would just do it with knives or something. They would go fucking swinging a sword around or something like that.
That's if, again, going on the narrative that this is an epidemic and people just want to do whatever.
Right, they just want to kill. They're so angry that they want to kill. I just think guns give them the confidence to do it sooner, and then their damage is more widespread because it's easy to kill like a crowd of people with a fucking AK. That shit just sprays.
Yeah.
So I do gun control should be stricter, whatever, all that shit. I just pretty much given up on that kind of argument.
Right.
So, you know what I do like, and I feel like this. I don't know. I'm basing this just on my own feelings. It seems like when this domestic terror shit happens more often and more often, each time it happens, the story gets spun of like, no more treating him like the victim. Let's get straight to the point. Let's call him what he is,
Right.
and no more excuses for these kind of people.
Right.
But that's just how I feel. Like I've seen it. Like it was like a very quick of like mentally ill, and then it was just like no. This guy wasn't an ISIS. This guy wasn't a blah blah blah. This guy wasn't blah blah blah. Just a pure like bred American Trump supporter. You know.
But that's our opinion. We're reacting to what we're seeing. What do you guys think? What do you if you know some things that we don't know, some actual that lead into like the Dayton and the El Paso shooting, put it in the comments. If you guys disagree with our statements, put it in the comments. If you guys agree with us, put it in the comments. It's all cool.
Because comment worthy.
What we're doing, we're not trying to swing either way, left or right. What we're trying to do is try to have an open dialogue to get to an actual resolution. Because us, trying to prove that we're right in a situation gets us nowhere if there's no actual action to it.
Right. We're not trying to like say we're right and blah blah blah. This is like we basically told you in the beginning, we don't know the truth. What is the truth?
Right.
Nobody fucking knows because either these guys die or don't talk or whoever shuts them up or silences the news. Like it's just not there. So
Right.
what is the actual truth? Like, are we all getting fucking duped? And this is like something like this is happening, and then like they're passing a bill under the fucking table, controlling all of us. Something to do with like I don't know.
Right.
Like you could implant a chip in every newborn now or something. It's like mandatory, and like we wouldn't even fucking know until it starts becoming like mainstream media.
Right. Definitely. But definitely, like I said, you guys comment, share this. We want to know what you guys think about these things and what's going on in today's world. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but that's just our take on it. We do have a podcast. How Do I Know You podcast. You guys can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, all that cool stuff. Other than that, I think we're about done. We're gonna keep doing this. When things happen like this, or just things in general that we want to give a quick take on.
Yeah, this is not on a scheduled basis or anything like that. No. It's when shit happens, we'll talk about it and then release it right away for you guys.
Yeah, these are our raw thoughts, raw emotions. We're not it won't be as calculated as us doing a podcast, but I feel like you guys will appreciate it a little more because we're speaking from the heart. Other than that, keep watching and let's go.